Hello, LEGO lovers. It's me, Will, aka Brick Panther, here. I'm sure you guys are probably noticing by now I am not wearing glasses, and that is because I just had a surgery a few days ago where they go in and basically do some laser procedures on your eyes. It's not LASIK, it's PRK, correctional eye surgery. I'm still in the recovery phases, but I can see pretty well. And second, you probably notice I'm not in my usual spot where I normally make my videos. I normally make my videos in my game room right by my massive shelves of LEGO sets where I can have a pretty good, backdrop that looks more professional on these LEGO videos. But for today, I'm doing something a little bit different. In light of starting my new chapter in life with no glasses, I'm also taking a new ambition. I'm kind of starting to advertise this a little bit on my Instagram, especially with all my close friends and the MSU community that I'm a part of there. But this isn't also official yet, at least in terms of the, timing. But this is going to be a start of something new. And it's ultimately going to lead to what the business model for this channel is going to be. I'm going to get to right now what the business model is going to be. So, as you guys know, LEGO's gotten more expensive. And it feels like that the quality of sets have really gone downhill. And I've seen so many videos on YouTube and even like on TikTok and Instagram talking about how many LEGO fans miss what's known as the golden era, which is 2010 through before 2020. That was a golden set of years for LEGO. That's what many people remember, some of the best sets of the era. And probably a few months ago, I had this idea of, I miss those days, and I see an audience that also misses those days. And I had just, a light bulb go off of, I should take action in that, seeing that there is, a community out there that misses what LEGO used to do. So, the future of this channel is I will eventually be designing and... Well, I'm going to be designing right now. In fact, that's... We'll get into that in just a minute. But designing and selling my very own LEGO sets. Now, these won't be, I'll be using LEGO as my median for the product. But they're not going to be called LEGO sets. They're going to be called Brick Panther kits. To not, with the trademark, but I'm going to be using LEGO elements to design my own sets. And for that, we're going to have to do some heavy research. Also, I should note, I am not in the position to be selling sets right now, because in order for me to be able to actually make sets to sell, I have to buy collections of loose bricks that aren't even really the sets at all, and even just random sets that I'm just gonna part out and I know I'm gonna sell, which I don't have the finances to do right now. So what we're going to be doing instead is I will be designing my own sets to display in my studio. And I will be sharing my design process, all the research that goes into the sets I design. But then, when the time comes I will actually be designing and selling my own sets, I will be keeping my designs very hush-hush. And when I'm ready to reveal the product, I will do a full product reveal video. And I'm so excited to be doing this. As a kid, I always wanted to be a LEGO designer. And I guess through this channel, I get to live that dream of being a set designer. So, to kick off, I have to do some research. And still that my vision's a little blurry. That's why I've got my monitor behind me here. my monitor here is seriously going to help me out in researching and be able to see. So I'm going to be researching, kind of some sets, maybe some models I could look into designing. And I'm also hoping, when this becomes more successful, to create some original themes with a story built around that. So I'm very excited to do. Anyways, let's jump into phase 1 of my first design, research. Probably the place where I should probably begin my research is lego.com. And I'm going to be looking at various sets and different themes and kind of seeing what the flaws are in terms of pricing, because ultimately I'm going to be designing sets for all ages. So there will be adults, kids, you name it. So let's take a look at some Star Wars, because I definitely will want to design some Star Wars sets at some point, and right now that is pretty much a lackluster theme, in my opinion. Like, I feel like the sets are not really that great. Yeah, let's take a look at this AT-AT from the new Mandalorian movie. So we got some nice minifigs. That bike looks rather small. And even the overall AT-AT looks really small. For $160. I don't know how I feel about this model. And this is a pre-order, so I know this hasn't released yet. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to go to Brickset. And I'm going to log into my account. And we are going to go to, let's go with, don't mind me, I'm trying to do this one-handed. All right, we're gonna do a search for AT-AT. Here we go. So let's do this one. This one is from 2010. This is the one I remember, like, being one of the best. Well, I mean, not the one of the best. I'm gonna find the one that actually was, like, one of the best ones. I'm pretty sure. Yes, it was this one. This one was probably like one of the best AT-ATs I've ever seen. So if I were to design an AT-AT, I'm gonna look at, the images. I'm gonna actually even review the instructions personally. Kind of get an idea of the design process a little bit. If it, okay, it's not loading right now. But oh wow, okay. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and I'll click on, let's go with that version. Yes, so this is the one I remember growing up. Yes. So if I were to design AT-AT, first I need the characters, which aren't a big deal. Then I would try to look at, the design of the model and try to figure out a way to improve upon that. Now, I also have an app that is gonna also help me out, like, with designing original sets, and I'm actually pulling it up right now. Go ahead and minimize. Okay, well, this has to update. Okay, well, you know, basically like I'll use what's called it's the Lego building, or what's it called? It's Studio 2.0, and it's Lego design. So I'll be designing Legos digitally on here as well as practicing with the physical brick. So that is basically my design process, at least right now. I'm working with the best of what I have. I have started a Lego project, but I'm going to put that on hold for now. And I'm going to do some brainstorming like over the next few days, especially since I've got a summer class coming up, so I got to prioritize that as well. I've got a priorities list that I've worked out. So, because I also make videos for my vlog channel, and I also have a gaming channel that I'm starting up. So there's kind of multiple things going on, so I got to prioritize each thing. So this will kind of be as I have time in the day. But for now, that's basically where I am at. And we're going to keep pressing through this video. So you're going to see lots of time fly with the design and the process. And, you know, talking about this today, this probably is not going to be out for a while. Saying that now, as it is, June 1st. June 1st, guys. This is the start of this video. I'm curious to see how many days this will take to actually, like, get a concept down. And then I will do a separate video doing the design of the actual model itself. So I'll be working on Studio. I will be working with the physical brick. You'll see all of that. This is merely just brainstorming a concept idea of what I want to design first. We are now at a few days later, and I have figured out my concept for my first model I want to build. I am a heavy big fan of Mission Impossible, and so I figured, why not tackle a big challenge, something I have never done before, and that is designing the yellow biplane from The Final Reckoning. So I pulled up a whole bunch of different reference photos for me to take a look at of the plane in kind of various angles, and even like some with a closer detail. And then I also pulled up the instructions for the Ghost Monster Fighter plane to kind of see like what they did. Even though it's not a biplane, it's still like a source of inspiration. So, and I've actually started designing what I'm calling the first concept model. And I've got yellows in here, blacks. Those parts are going to be used heavily. And then right now I'm actually trying to solve a problem. I don't actually have a good way to mount this. So I figured I'm going to try to use my GoPro instead, because it could be a little more stable. Here we go. Got the GoPro all set up. So this is the concept model. And actually the problem I'm trying to solve is how to get the roundness effect of the plane, so kind of like how it goes up. And I've definitely narrowed it down. Like, one of the techniques I'm using is this, and it's basically these little bracket, like slope bricks paired up with some plates to kind of give it a sloped effect. And I hope the way the plane is angled this is exactly like how it's done, or like I'll connect these eventually somewhere. Ideally, I was trying to, like, you know, put them here. And then this is a rough concept model. So I wanted them loosely to kind of sit as close as possible on these tiles, but it's just difficult. So I'm trying to figure out what is the best design process. And as a matter of fact, I'm looking for two pieces in particular. I didn't find the piece I'm looking for, but this is definitely one I'm gonna need eventually. This is a plane wheel, which actually I could go ahead and, you know, try it out. So that's where it'll go ideally, is on the rear. Well, I can't find the piece right now. It's buried somewhere in the bin I'm searching for. But I figured I would, you know, since I've got the idea for the product down, I would at least get, you know, a concept model built, and I will make that into a separate video when that is complete, sharing my concept model. I actually might make more than one, since I have never built a biplane before. I've actually never built a plane in general, like on my own, like custom creation. So I don't exactly know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to figure out as I go by using the reference images as well to try to make like the first concept model. I'm honestly like going bigger. I think bigger is better, because then once I kind of got the feel down, I can then work on fine-tuning the scale to make it more minifig appropriate. Because ideally I want, you know, this to be as like a play set that you would get in the store. And right now, this is way bigger than a minifig scaled set. In fact, this is probably equivalent to one, like at least the scale as it is right now, it's more equivalent to a adult. So I want, and also the scaling is definitely way off. When I look at, you know, that wheel, and then I'll actually turn this around. And then when you look at, let's pick a reference photo like this, that definitely, you know, it's a poor example, but you can see what I mean, where, yes, for this right here, it's really hard to match the scale. So I never really built a biplane before, like I've said probably many times by now, but I will keep working on it. And once I have my first concept model down, I'll make a video on it. So anyways, this is basically the design process as of, like, you know, right now that I'm willing to share. And once I get the first concept model done, expect a video from me soon. So thank you guys so much for watching, and keep building, and I'll see you in the next LEGO video.